Jesus is condemned to die after being falsely accused, mocked, and beaten. Jesus is sentenced to death by crucifixion. Matthew 27:24-26, NIV. When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, he took water and washed his hands. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he said. Then he released Barabbas to them. But he had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. Jesus carries his cross. The soldiers took Jesus and forced him to carry his cross through the streets of Jerusalem toward Golgotha. John 19:16-17, NIV. Finally, Pilate handed him over to them to be crucified, so the soldiers took charge of Jesus. Carrying his own cross, he went out to the place of the skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha. Along the way, a man named Simon of Cyrene was made to help carry the cross. Luke 23:26, NIV. As the soldiers led him away, they seized Simon from Cyrene and put the cross on him and made him carry it behind Jesus. The daughters of Jerusalem, weep. As Jesus walked, women mourned for him. Luke 23:28-31, NIV. Jesus turned and said to them, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me. Weep for yourselves and for your children." Jesus is crucified. When they reached Golgotha, Jesus was nailed to the cross between two criminals. Matthew 27:35-37, NIV. When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots. And sitting down, they kept watch over him there. Above his head, they placed the written charge against him, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." Luke 23:33, NIV. When they came to the place called the Skull, they crucified him there, along with the criminals, one on his right, the other on his left.
Jesus speaks from the cross. Even while suffering, Jesus showed mercy and fulfilled prophecy. Luke 23:34, NIV. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke 23:43, NIV. Jesus answered him, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." To the repentant thief, Luke 23:43, NIV. Jesus answered him, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." To the repentant thief, John 19:26-27, NIV. When Jesus saw his mother there and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to her, "Woman, here is your son," and to the disciple, "Here is your mother." Darkness and Jesus' death. Darkness came over the land from noon to 3 p.m. Jesus gave up his spirit. Matthew 27:45-46-50, NIV. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani?" which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. The curtain tears and the earth shakes. At Jesus' death, miraculous signs occurred. Matthew 27:51-52, NIV. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open. Jesus is buried. A rich man named Joseph of Arimathea placed Jesus' body in a tomb. Matthew 27:59-60, NIV. Joseph took the body, wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and placed it in his own new tomb. He rolled a big stone in front of the entrance to the tomb and went away.